From early on in childhood, I didn't really feel loved. I spent most of my time alone. I didn't have a father, and despite everyone telling me that wasn't my fault, I blamed myself anyway. The most intense person to person contact I had with other people was bullying in school and bullying from my cousins. My own family treated me harshly as I was the filthy black sheep. I wasn't given the love and affection I needed. I was instead given a large dose of go play somewhere else. So after a while, in my black and white Aspergery way, I assumed that I didn't deserve to be loved, and therefore deserved to be hated. So for the next pair of decades, I actively hated myself. I was done letting the world tell me how I should be treated, so I fulfilled my own prophecy. I have cut myself, I have beat myself until I've cried, and found ways to injure myself. I would write down diatribes on how worthless, pathetic, weak, and stupid I am. I did that countless times. I'd find any relatively conceivable way to take myself down. Any success I may have achieved, no matter how large or minuscule, I refused to give myself credit. Not allowing myself to find reasons why I should look on myself with any sense of pride, or giving reasons to smile. I distrusted myself, therefore I distrusted others. And it's still something I struggle with. When anyone did ever tell me something that was positive about me, I would assume it's a false flatter, a misjudgment, or just an outright fib. Inside my own head, I would hear things like, friends and family won't tell you the truth. They're too afraid to. Who would want to tell you the truth after they've seen your worst sides? But me and I both know, deep down, they despise you. And without a shadow of a doubt, they talk mad shit behind your back after they refuse to unleash the truth in front of you. That's what everyone does. And why shouldn't they? They have lots of valid complaints, don't they? Because at the end of the day, they're around you out of pity. Because that's all you're really worth. And if anybody tells you otherwise, they're lying. I've felt contempt in this world and everyone in it. I've wanted to kill, torture, maim, and destroy. I have felt in the past that the injustices in this world that fall upon us were the sole design of a malicious, torturous, cruel God. When things would go wrong in my life, even something minor, I would become angry and instilled with rage at the thought of God laughing at me. I've been hurt, and I have hurt in return. I have had psychotic breakdowns and frenetic lapses of sadistic pleasure fantasies fulfilled by venomous one-liners said to people who I've cared for or cared for. I've second-guessed on if I am a good person as many times as there are stars in the galaxy. I've told myself I'm wrong, I'm evil, and horrible, and ugly, and sometimes I still do. There is a never-ending battle of darkness and light constantly churning. Not even subconsciously, but consciously. Anything I have ever failed in was because I myself am a failure. Not worth life, not worth love. I suck the life out of life itself. A pious fool who satiates his self-doubt and vulnerability with delusions of grandeur of being loved and adored by many. My words were flower petals falling onto the cold dirt, giving the world color. My actions and my thoughts were deeply deconstructed and critiqued for their mere brilliance. That is my stupid, meddling mind thinking I can be something more than just a speck of shit in the cosmos. These are the sorts of things I hear in my mind. I don't particularly like these thoughts. I don't enjoy their presence. But no matter how hard I try to change my mind and rationalize on how these thoughts are just my paranoid psychosis trying to take a hold of me and try to reason and logic my way out, these ideas, they don't go away. I don't want to put all my blame on my disorders. However, I will still maintain that they are a serious causal effect on how I relate to myself and how I relate to the world. Despite my efforts in battle to get through them, I am slowly but surely succeeding. I have a sick mind. But fuck, man, that means I at least have a mind. Something to conjure beauty. Or not. Neurons to fire, spreading blazes of imaginations, the pouring of created worlds through milking fireworks. Thoughts to bloom or thoughts to sever. Which am I to choose? My patience and my outlook have shed a small beacon of light, which grows to the fraction of a gnat's nipple every day. I don't lose my cool quite as often as I have in the past. Hell, when my tweaked out neighbor was tweaking outside of my door a few months ago, years ago I would have frozen and not known what the fuck to do, and would have either gotten so frenzied I would have a meltdown, or I would have just ran inside, hiding like a chicken. But instead, I stood there, allowed him to gain his balance on me, to lean on me when he needed it, to try and assist him and help him wherever he needed to go. And thankfully, it worked out fine. Although the still nagging mental imbalances haunt me daily, they don't consume me to the level they once have. I no longer break down and stare at a kitchen knife pressed against my wrists, trying to find the gumption to slice. I no longer fall apart and gobble down a buttload of pills, then go in a dark haze for a day or so, and then go to sleep hoping I never wake up. I no longer scream at myself at the top of my lungs and how fucking stupid, worthless, and horrible I am, and beat myself silly in the head until I'm on the floor, curled up and hysterically crying. And just in case you're wondering, I have done all of these things, some more than once. Is it comfortableness in death, or comfortableness dipping my toe in it? Something I've realized is I can't deal with life and not be creative. If I can't be creative, I wither. I die. I break down into ash. A curse worth having, I'll say. Truth is hard, but I'm willing to say it. Maybe not all of it, but I'm certainly willing to give you truth. Lies bother me. Telling lies bother me. Truth hurts. So why tell a lie that means nothing when you can take a truth that bears something of substance? Something to unpack, something to dissect, an entity to life itself, tightening the vision of an honest path. Thankfully, I've surrounded myself with people who don't make me feel like shit. Despite my previous statements and feeling distrust of compliments, and my inkling feeling of being secretly despised now and again, at the same time, if it makes sense, I do feel warmth around me. The friends and family I have are quite good, certainly better than what they could be, or worse, a bee that possibly couldn't be at all. That would suck. A suck that could be, but thankfully is a bee that could be but isn't. Which is why I'm thankful to those who decide to not only stick around but allege with me through tough times when I show my ugliness. Which I'll be honest, there's a lot of. If you haven't figured that out now, you fucking idiot. Despite with my many brushes of suicide and self-immolation of the soul, the fight rages on. It must. I ain't done yet. There's something else that must happen. Not sure what it is, but it must. And I am happy to continue living to see what it is, if anything. Until then, I shall stand and suffer with the rest of you, smiling for the first time as I watch the world burn. Get used to that smell of ember, because it's all you're going to be taking in. Give it a whiff. Give it a toke. Fire burns, and so does the pain of breaking off dead parts of yourself that you still hold on to. If anything, be thankful that you are part of something where something is simultaneously beautiful, helpful, devouring, and destructive can exist. Life could suck much harder, and it could also be better, so do it. Life is worthwhile, isn't it? But remember, to others, and especially to yourself, nothing worthwhile is easy. Thank you. I love you. Except you. But especially you.